मैं समय हूँ। नहीं, मैं शुभा हूँ। आई एम शुभा एंड आई वेलकम यू ऑल इन माई चैनल फन डू साइंस. What about मैं समय हूँ? Time is money. Time is precious. Time waits for nobody. Save the time. You know what is common in all this? It is time. Yes, and that is our today's topic. Time. We are going to discuss and learn about the time. So what is time? I go to school, I come back. Going school, attending school over there and then coming back. These are two events where I leave from home, I roam in the school, I do various activities and then again I come back to from school to home. So I started from home, I did something, I spent the time in school and come back. So I can define the time in a way that time is that interval between two events. It is called as time. If we go back in the history, suppose we have a time machine and we press the button and we went way back in the history, then we will find there are various people who used to roam around in jungle. They were not acquainted with time, but there was something, inquisitiveness. They used to observe things around. They used to observe few phenomena which used to occur regularly. And one of the phenomena which interested them was rise of sun and going the sun up in the sky and then coming down again. They were not knowing anything yet like universe, but they were knowing very well that it is one big ball of fire which used to come every day in the morning. They were not knowing morning also, but when it used to come, there was light everywhere. There was chirping of birds. There was flow of river. They can see everything in that light. Then slowly it used to go up in the sky and there was heat. Then again it goes down. And when it used to go down, at that time again there was darkness. And this used to occur every day. They strike the idea. Then they started counting how many times it will go up and it goes down. Then they started count 1 Surya, 2 Surya, 3 Surya, 4 Sun. And that was from where a day was discovered. And then we started telling one day when sun rises and when sun sets. Second day again the sun rises and sun sets, and it was our day. Gradually we made progress and we came up with new idea due to our observation power. The man used to walk in sun and he observed that there was one friend which is always with man. You know who was that friend? That friend was shadow. Yes, it was shadow. He observed that when sun rise in one direction, then the shadow in opposite direction is very large. It is the largest. As the sun goes up in the sky, the shadow reduces. And when sun is exactly on the head, our shadow is minimal. Then sun start moving in opposite direction from the direction of rise, and our shadow also become opposite. But again it start increasing. As sun goes down, our shadow is increased, and when at the time of sunset, our shadow is again the maximum but in opposite direction of that which what was in morning. This was a great observation. So man invented the first clock on the basis of this to determine time. And this clock was sun clock, sundial. Yes, And nowadays also, if you want to see such kind of sundial, you can visit Jantar Mantar at New Delhi or Jaipur, and you can see sundial. You can make your own sundial also. How will you make? You find out a very comfortable place in your home where sunlight comes directly. It can be your terrace of your home. You can take one paper and make one vertical stick on it. Put a vertical stick on it. You can use clay used to make the stick stand vertically. Now in the morning, early morning, you have to wake up very early, you have to wake up around 5:30. You go and place your instrument, that means a paper, a clay with a vertical stick over it, on terrace. At the end of the experiment, when the sun sets, at that time you can click the photograph, you can measure the length of the shadow. At the same time, you can see how was the shadow after each hour interval. Do this experiment and write me your experience in the comment box. Now we come to our time. There was a need to define a specific unit of time. Okay, so we will do one experiment. Can you observe this? This is called pendulum. Yes. Now this ball at the base of the pendulum is called as bob, and this is string of the pendulum. Now this is the original position of pendulum. If I shift it a little bit of this position, and we will see, then you can see a motion to and fro. A time will come when it will stop. Let us discuss this experiment on board. This is the original position of the pendulum. This is position A. If I shift the bob a little bit towards the left hand side to the position B, then we will observe that when we leave this bob, it will move from position B to position A to position C, from position C to position A to position B, and likewise. Now the movement of this bob from position A to B and B to again A to C and from C again to A, this is called as one oscillation. This one oscillation defines a period. Okay, that means the time taken by bob to complete one oscillation is called as one period. Now, in a fixed time, the number of oscillations performed by this bob is called as frequency of that bob. So, bob is at position A, then in a time period, how many times it is going to cross this position A by traveling from A to B, B to C, C to A to B, B to C, C to A. So, how many times it is going to come to A, that is called as its frequency. And from here, in physics, there are few more terminologies which came in picture. One was frequency, another was period, and this all is defined by number of oscillations in per unit time, or number of oscillations by the bob in a fixed period. Okay, now frequency and period, you can see if frequency is more, period will be less. That means bob will fast moving when period is less and frequency will be more. While opposite, if bob is slow moving, then frequency is less and it will take more time. That means period will be more. So relationship can be defined as frequency is in inverse relation with that of period. And this is something, one concept which I would like you to keep in mind always for everything. Right from bob concept to wave concept to anything that is moving. From playing this bob to and fro, we started realizing that there should be one standard unit, because time interval, the interval between two events is a fixed thing. So we defined second as a unit for time. Time is something which is constant in MKS unit as well as in CGS unit and FPS unit. In all kinds of unit system, time's basic unit is second only. Now we will define second. As I told you that time is defined by sunrise to sunset. So we divided this sunrise to sunset into many parts, many events. Okay, and from there we got this number, that is 86,400, and the second was defined as 1 second is equal to 1 upon 86,400 into mean solar day. Now what is this mean solar day? As I told you, it is the duration from when the sun rises to sunset. That means nowadays it is defined as the time which is required to complete one rotation of Earth. That is called as mean solar day. Later on, the scientists tried to more and more specify this second. They tried to standardize this second. So in 1957, the group of scientists, they decided to take 1900, yes, the year 1900 as a standard year and 12 hour as standard hour, and they calculated the definition of second, which is as follows. Later on, we rely on radiations, and we came to know that radiations and vibrations released by the radiation can also be defining the second. So nowadays we calculate the rate of radiation and the vibrations released by the radiation as a standard duration for a second, and it is as follows. Once we define the second, then we started thinking about the smaller unit of the second as well as the larger unit of second. The smaller unit of seconds are microseconds, nanoseconds and picoseconds also nowadays. And larger unit of seconds can be bigger. So larger unit of seconds starts from minutes. Then comes, yes, hours. Then we have week, we have month, we have year. Again in month we have lunar month, we have solar month. Then we have year, leap year and normal year. We have adjusted the time period by adding one day after each 4 years, which is called as leap year. After year we have century, then we have decade, then we have millennium and likewise. If I have to convert 23 hours into minute, then we will go like this. We know that 1 hour is 60 minutes. Therefore, 24 hours will be 60 multiplied by 24, and write your answer in comment box. Yes, I am waiting for it. Similarly, if I want to convert it into seconds, then we have 24 hours converted into seconds, then 24 multiplied by 60, this will convert into minutes. If I multiply again it by 60, then it is going to give me the number of seconds in 24 hours, because we know that 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. And write your answer again, calculate, and I am waiting for it. With the advancement of technology, we came up with various kind of clocks and watches, like this, I love this. And this is so good. Now, we have two kind of clock system which we generally use. One is 12-hour system which we generally see in our analog watch, while we have 24-hour system which is mostly we confront when we go to railway station. Have you ever observed the railway ticket? See, there is 24-hour system which is used in railways. I will tell you a trick to convert it into 12 hours clock. So this is our watch and you are acquainted with it. We have analog system as I have marked inside and 24-hour system which is outside. We have small hand and big hand on the face of the clock. Now when this small hand completes one round from 12 and come back again to the 12, it is called as AM. And when it starts to taking another round of 12 to 12, we call it PM. So from midnight to 12 o'clock in the afternoon, it is AM. From 12 o'clock in the afternoon to again midnight, it is PM. That is a system of 12-hour clock. While in 24-hour clock, we always write hours. We don't have AM or PM system. That means antemeridian or post-meridian system. We always have hour system. That means it starts from 0000 in midnight, then 1, 2, 3, 4 likewise, and after 12, it don't continue as 1 PM. It is continued as 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and then again at midnight it is 24 hours. And that is the system which you can observe very well in railway system. Here, if you want to convert, then you have to subtract your post 12 hour, that means after noon, from 12 hours. That means if I asked you convert 14 hours in AM or PM system, then immediately what you have to do? Subtract 14 hour minus 12 and whatever you are going to get, that is in PM, that is 2 PM. It is afternoon time. So after 12 o'clock in 24 hours clock, you will always write hour as a unit, while in 12-hour clock till 12 o'clock you will write AM, and afternoon to midnight you are going to write PM. Now on the basis of this time, we have certain derived units. Yes, suppose you are driving a car and you want to determine the speed of a car, then you need to know the time. That means speed is nothing but a time required to cover certain distance. That is a speed. Similarly with the velocity, at different time intervals, how much distance the car or vehicle covers, that is velocity. Suppose you want to calculate the power of an engine, then you can calculate it by time, in how much time it can complete how much amount of work, that means work upon time. And likewise many more derived units are there. So time is very useful thing. I hope you have learned a lot about the time and now you understood the time very well. If you enjoyed the video, then hit the like button. Before leaving, take the ticket for the next journey by hitting that subscribe button, and see you in next video. Bye bye.